Hi, I'm Turtle, and this is Shiju Sovereign Sun Jinwoo in AnimeRangersX. In this video, I'm going to be taking Jinwoo into the hardest stage in the game and see if he can solo. So, Sun Jinwoo was actually my first Sovereign that I got in this game. It came purely out of nowhere. I mean, if you've played Anime Adventures before, you know just how hard it is to get a unique, and this is my second Sovereign, so you can tell it caught me by surprise. And yes, I did kind of evolve my Sun Jinwoo before they added the stat upgrade thing, so it did take me a lot of keys to increase his stats. But anyways, in Shiju Sovereign fashion, speaking of his stats, let's check them out. Okay, what have we got to work on here? Damn, that is crazy. I mean, if you've ever got your first O+, yeah, this is not easy. I got this by pure surprise. And you know, you'll actually be surprised. Despite Sovereign Bunny being one of the strongest units in the game, this Sun Jinwoo does so much damage. I mean, just compared to the Bunny with a few thousand attack and 0.8 SPA, if we have a look at the Sun Jinwoo's stats, yeah, you can see how crazy it is. Now, the one downside with Sun Jinwoo, I'd say, is his speed. Like, I tried to get the O on speed mainly because I just like fast, strong characters, but his passive's even worse. Now, I'm sorry, this is one of the most disgusting passives in the game. If you've seen solo leveling, you probably thought to yourself, wow, this game has such an amazing chance to make such a cool unit. I mean, small units on the map that he can summon shadows. And they made this. Like, come on, be for real. If you kill one enemy, you summon one shadow with 100 health and damage, that's so pathetic. Especially for when it comes to a really hard stage like the Bunny event, having basically two enemies, the moment the shadow spawns, it's dead. But other than that, he has really high ability damage, though his ability cooldown's kind of lacking at 34. I think that's where Bunny takes the edge on this one. However, giving him low cost, I mean, a good 1300 that's good for a Sovereign. You have to think of it as he is a one placement unit, so being decent price for how strong he is off the rip, he's going to be one of the strongest units you'll ever use in this game. Now, I did make sure to lower his SPA just a tad bit, as well as his ability SPA, considering 34 seconds is a lot, though I don't think percentages work in this game properly because it only took off 1 second from his ability cooldown, so yeah, they might need to fix that. And though you might be thinking the fact that he's level 100 makes a big difference, it actually doesn't make that much of a difference. So I'd say from level 50 to 100, he's gained about 3000 attack from what I remember. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to max leveling him, it doesn't make that big of a difference. But especially in stages that are really difficult, you mostly just win before you max level this kind of character. Alright, so now that everything's out the way, let's get onto the team. Alright, here's the team that we're going to be bringing into the stage. As you can tell, it's just basic fodder units. I'd say if you can get Yuno, I really recommend it before the event disappears in literally one day. When they add events with more than 2 units as the boss, this is going to be extremely strong. Especially if you pair it with Bunny's ability every 15 seconds, units that use a skill to attack. I mean, don't forget, that counts for every single one of these small units. For example, even this normal epic, it has a 2-second cooldown ability. If this really says what it does, then this is one of the strongest abilities in the entire game. And don't forget, when you compare it to someone like Bunny, having a full line AoE, that thick line that's going to hit so many enemies in the future, yeah, that 5-second stun is going to be so broken. And of course, just quick units, 5.4 speed. It doesn't even matter if they have low health, just so they have a lot of spawn rate and a lot of speed, they get to the enemy before the Sun Jinwoo, then you're set. Anyways, now that's out of the way, there's only one thing left to do, and that's to hop into the Easter event. Let's go. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Just like last time, we're going to be leaving it on autoplay so everything summons by themselves. And as you can see, Sun Jinwoo is not the fastest unit at 2.8 speed. He can't really outspeed most of the fodder, but that's not a huge deal, just so long as they get ahead of him because he has such a big range. Alright, here comes the boss, already one-shotting everything, but you can see with his 5-second attack cooldown, it really takes him a while to get rid of the fodder here. And of course, Sun Jinwoo does start with a full AoE, which, once again, if we have a multiple unit stage, this is one of the coolest beginning attacks in the game. Okay, the Sun Jinwoo is about to die here, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and look at his abilities. So far we have 62,000 attack and 18,000 damage. That 0.8 SPA, I swear, is everything for this character. So let's give him an upgrade here. 124,000 health and 27,000 attack. Keeping that 0.8 SPA cooldown is probably his best trait. I think the fact that Bunny goes down to 2 seconds but absolutely skyrockets in damage, if he stays at 0.8 SPA, that's going to keep them really similar in the long run. Okay, so the fodder is in front of Sun Jinwoo, but I feel like he's still being targeted here. And he survived the ability? Okay, he did die there, so we're going to see the new stats here, but what is his effect resistance? He only has 32%, and I don't think the evade ever really procs, though it might have procced once there because he didn't have much health and he still lived, but we're going to give him one more upgrade here. Okay, so 187,000 health and 36,000 damage, keeping the 0.8 SPA. Yeah, so far this unit's just a beast. As you can see, we've nearly killed the first bunny and we've hardly even gone through half of his upgrades yet. So there we go, 1.3 mil. Now his ability is probably one of his most shocking stats out of this character. Compared to Bunny, nearly one-shotting the bunny boss. Sun Jinwoo's already doing about 396k on, what is this, upgrade 2? Yeah, that's out of this world. Let's give him another upgrade here. So he does in fact keep the 0.8 SPA the entire time. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's just, most people count by dividing down, but this character, he just multiplies his own damage because of how fast he is. And we're not even counting the ability cooldown. 34 seconds, it's not bad. But just the fact that he has the 0.8 SPA, he's on average doing, I'd say, near enough more damage than his ability, right? Every 30-something seconds he's doing the ability, and every 0.8 he's attacking. He's attacking more than his ability, and that's very different to Bunny. Bunny, every 15 seconds, kind of relies on her ability, and her decent stun passive. But in this case, Sun Jinwoo's, he's just carrying himself. So here we're going to do the final upgrade in just one moment here. Alright, here we go. So the final upgrade. He got Empire Shadow, 311,000, 55k DPS, and 0.8 cooldown. Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm probably going to calculate his DPS here just to see how much we're working with. And we actually won? Okay. With the 461,000 ability damage, it's really not as much as Bunny, but yeah, no, his base damage is, it's too much. It's too much. So his current SPA is looking at 57,000. That's 57,000 DPS per second, and just like that, we're done. Even with the Bunny event, I kind of spaced it out, but I can't believe it's already finished. Yeah, I mean, GG's, I guess. Now, I feel there's one more thing I have to point out before we carry on this video, just because it is important to know. We're talking about characters with Sovereign. We're talking about characters that take down the strongest bosses in the game, can take down relentless hordes of characters. But when it comes to a stage like this, here we are in the hourly challenge, and you'll see that Sun Jinwoo isn't very viable here. So most challenges, I can't remember if they run on normal or easy, but as you can see, yeah, 80 health. Even someone like Otaku can take this down on his own. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't bring a mythic, but everyone who plays this game should understand that speed is key. Speed is everything. Speed is power. He does attack fast, but just the fact that our Sun Jinwoo's all the way back here, and we've basically competed the stage with 2 Otakus that spawned next to each other, which is quite surprising. And just like that, the stage is done, and Sun Jinwoo didn't even see any action. So you have to make sure that you remember, characters with speed are more versatile in easy events like this. If you're trying to bring a Sovereign unit into an easy grind, it might actually slow you down significantly. And now it's time to ask the ultimate question. Should you Sovereign? Now, though this answer might be a little bit controversial, but I think makes a lot of sense. Yes, you absolutely should. Despite not being as fast as Bunny and a lot easier to obtain in this game, even though he's slow, the fact that you have a unit this strong that can handle a lot of units in a full AoE straight off summon is really viable in early stages, especially if you're trying to bang out story and just grind most challenges with some fast fodder on the team. He's a very, very strong unit that you should not underestimate. Now, seeing as there is 1 day left until the Bunny event leaves, if you can get your hands on a unit this strong, I'd really recommend using it to try and grind Bunny. And don't forget, if you don't get that moon, you might be stuck with an unevolved Bunny for the rest of your days. That's all for now, and if you want to see more Should You Sovereign, like, subscribe, and comment below your ideas of what you want to see on this game. I've been Turtle, and that's all for now. Peace.